Om Jnanantimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrijatan Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarupyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabho Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Rama Rama Hare Hare. Can you put on Radha Madhava after me? Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Shoda Nandana Jaya Vrajajana Ranjana Jaya Shoda Nandana Jaya Rajajana Ranjana Jaya Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you all so much for joining us. And Prami, you can get started with the PowerPoint, please. So today we are going to learn a little bit more and about who Vritrasura is, for those people who already know who Vritrasura is. And for those who are not aware of this demon, Devotee, we're going to know actually how great and how amazing this demon is. And just by listening to the lessons from Vritrasura's prayers, we're going to understand what is the attitude as a devotee we all should have. I mean, I'm doing this presentation just because I want me to imbibe that. And in the process of me learning, if any of you feel it's something helpful for you, I'd be very, very happy. Thank you. So we're going to, next slide, please. So we're going to actually talk about, next slide. Yeah. So the second one. So today we're actually going to see who Vritrasura is. And Vritrasura says these beautiful prayers, which is very appropriate for every devotee in a battlefield. And Indra is actually killing him. So we need to understand, where did this whole situation come up from? Who is Vritrasura, and why he's a demon, even though he's actually a devotee, and why is Indra killing him? So let's go. We're going to look at two different stories. So first, we're going to look at the story of who Vritrasura was and why he became a demon. And the second story is going to be about who Indra is. And of course, we all know who Indra is, but what makes Indra come to the battlefield to kill Vritrasura? Next slide, please. So let's go back to the earlier life of Vritrasura. Vritrasura was actually, there was a very, very wonderful king named Chitraketu. Chitraketu had everything that he wanted in his life. He had lots of treasury, lots of wonderful citizens. He had almost a million wives. Why? Because he wanted a child. Now, he didn't marry so many women because he wanted to enjoy his senses, but he really wanted a child. One day, Angira Muni comes to his kingdom and he asks him, why are you so sad? And Chitraketu tells him that he's sad because he doesn't have a child. He has so many wives, but still he's not blessed with a child. Now, Angira Muni, understands his situation. He doesn't tell him anything about spiritual life, but he tells him, okay, I will do a yajna. And after I do the yajna, what you're going to receive is some rice pudding, and you can give it to your wife, and she will surely become pregnant. So Chitraketu's first wife, among all these so many queens, his first wife is Devotee. So he asked Devotee to have that, the rice pudding. And after a few days, as Angira Muni mentioned, they did have a beautiful child. Angira Muni also mentions that they will have a child whose name is going to be Harsha Shoka. Harsha means happy, Shoka means sad. They tell him that, okay, you're going to have a child that's going to give you happiness, and he's also going to give you sadness. Well, King Chitraketu at that point, he really wanted a child. So he says, of course, I'm going to be happy because I'm going to have a child. Maybe I'm going to be sad because he's going to be the only child and he might just be a little naughty. So maybe that's going to cause me, sadness. So Angira Muni leaves and they are all happy. And Harsha Shoka is growing nicely. Everybody is happy in the kingdom. But all the other wives were not very happy. Chitraketu would spend a lot of time with the baby and Devotee, but would totally ignore all the other wives. So some of the wives became very envious and they decided that they have to poison the child and kill the child. Well, in this situation, I'm also remembering another story we all know about Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj had also had another wife. And Dhruva Maharaj had a stepmother called Suruchi, and his mother's name was Suniti. Suruchi was very, very particular that only her son Uttama should be sitting on the lap of their father, Uttanapada. Well, but Suniti was not upset at all. She was a devotee of Krishna. She knew that these things are temporary, and she was very Krishna conscious, and she was not envious either because she knew the purpose of life. So she told Dhruva Maharaj, the only person that you can ask for anything is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But in this situation, none of the wives were actually Krishna conscious. So that's it. They actually poisoned the child and Harsha Shoka dies. Now, listening to this, Devotee and Chitraketu Maharaj are super, super sad. They don't know what to do. They are extremely, extremely lamenting. Just then, Angira Muni and Narada Muni, both of them appear there. And they see the situation of Devotee and Chitraketu. They try to explain to them. Narada Muni tries to explain, but they don't understand. So then he tells, okay, I'm going to bring your child back to life. And that's what Narada Muni does. He brings the child back to life. And he tells the child, oh, little baby, you know, your parents are crying for you because you left your body. And the little boy talks. He says, which parents are you talking about? I have had several parents in my past life. I have had a parent who, an animal parent, a tree parent, a human parent. So which parent are you talking about? Well, with all these things that have been said by Harshashoka, King Chitraketu really realizes that, oh my gosh, what was I doing? His illusion starts going away. So then Narada Muni, he surrenders to Narada Muni. He takes Narada Muni as a spiritual master, and he tells Narada Muni, please help me. I want to be out of this. Narada Muni instructs him and he gives him a mantra. Within 7 nights that Chitraketu Maharaj chants this mantra, he actually becomes purified and he gets to see Lord Sankarsana. Next slide, please. So he actually meets Lord Sankarsana. You see this beautiful picture, Lord Sankarsana is sitting and Chitraketu Maharaj is offering obeisances. This was just a surrender in 7 nights. And all the Kumaras are also praying. And they're so happy to see Chitraketu praying to Lord Sankarsana. So here you see that this is the most important effect of his chanting the mantra. But there was another effect. He also became the head of the Vidyadhara Loka. Now, next slide, please. So he becomes the head of the Vidyadhara Loka, and you see that he's actually traveling in an aeroplane with many women. Now, he was not enjoying with that women, but he was actually glorifying Krishna in the association of everybody. While he's traveling like this, one day he sees Lord Shiva, who's also a devotee of Lord Sankarsana, right? So Chitraketu, he's in the airplane and he looks down and he sees that Shiva is actually preaching. You see in the arena, you see Narada Muni. There are so many other sages who are there. And he is telling them about what's the purpose of life, Krishna consciousness and everything. But he had Mother Parvati on his lap and he was embracing her on the back. So now looking at this, Chitraketu Maharaj comments. He says, why is this happening? I know usually wife and husband can embrace each other, maybe in a solitary situation, but not in public like this. And here, Chitraketu Maharaj did not have any bad thought because he just wanted to mention, he just wanted to show to people that, you know, this is not ordinary. First is Shiva is an amazing devotee. Even though his wife is sitting on his lap, he is totally sense controlled. Another thought, another thing that he wanted to, he just mentions that because there are so many people who will think Shiva as being a bad person or a wrong example. He didn't want that to happen. So his purpose of what he was doing was very pure. That's why Lord Shiva didn't take any offense. Now we know that earlier in Bhagavatam, we talked about Daksha. Daksha was really offensive to Lord Shiva. And that's why Sati Sagamana happens. Sati gets, she actually kills herself. But here, Shiva is not upset at all. He's fine. He's just smiling. And so Chitraketu Maharaj, he says that. And usually if a devotee is getting chastised by another person, all the other devotees who are in the arena would probably close their ears or just walk away. But in this situation, Narada Muni and all the sages, they understand the thought of Chitraketu. Then they don't take it wrong. But Mother Parvati gets upset. She thinks that, she starts telling to Chitraketu Maharaj that, oh, so everybody else in this universe have forgotten what's etiquette. So Brahma and all the other people would not talk about it. But this person is a new person. This person is newly appointed to make sure that we don't misbehave. So she curses him. She says, you have to become a demon. So, of course, Maharaj Chitraketu comes down from the airplane and he surrenders to Mother Parvati and he says, I didn't have any offensive mentality when I said that. I just wanted to be careful that people don't think Lord Shiva is wrong. But then I will take upon whatever you give me. If you're going to curse me, just curse me. I will take upon me. I won't ask for anything. So this is the reason that Chitraketu Maharaj becomes Vritrasura. Now we're going to go to the next. So we looked at the first slide was where Vritrasura is fighting with Indra. So we understand now how Chitraketu Maharaj becomes Vritrasura. But now we're going to see, why is Indra there? Why is Indra fighting? So, Indra is actually always enjoying. He really enjoys being the king of the heavenly planets. He had these beautiful dancers, singers. Everybody is enjoying themselves. Just then in that arena, Brihaspati is the guru of all the demigods. So he enters. As soon as he enters, the etiquette is basically everybody would get up and they would pay obeisances, and Indra would give his seat. But Indra looks at him, but he ignores him. Well, not only him, several others in the arena also ignore him. A few offer. Now, Brihaspati doesn't curse him. He doesn't tell anything to him. But what he does is he actually leaves the arena. He leaves the arena and he goes. After some time, Indra realizes his mistake. He says, "Oh my gosh, what did I do? I offended Brihaspati. I need to go find him." So he and all his other members in Heavenly Kingdom, everybody's searching for Brihaspati, but they don't find Brihaspati. Brihaspati is gone. Now, what do? Because demons start, no, stay there only, Emma, thank you. So demons think that, oh, you know what? Demigod's guru is gone. We're going to make sure that we actually are going to attack them. Usually everybody's strength, the strength that a living entity has, is because of the mercy of Guru. If Guru is not happy, their mercy is gone. So similarly, when Brihaspati is not happy, demigods lost all their power. So demons started attacking them. Now they go to Brahma and pray to Brahma, say, Brahma, we don't know, we made a mistake. Well, Brahma is unhappy and he says, well, you should not have done that. Well, what to do now? Brihaspati is no more. They need a guru. So he says, you can actually take a guru named Vishwarupa. Vishwarupa, who is actually the son of one of the Adityas. That's Aditya's name was Twashta. And Twashta's son is Vishwarupa. But Brahma tells him one important thing. He says, you know what? His mom is from the demon side, Rachna. So you have to be careful with Vishwarupa. So Indra says, yes, absolutely. Now, he actually helps Indra in lots of ways. But one day he does something. Next slide, please. So Vishwarupa actually has 3 heads. And he's sitting down and he is offering prayers, like, loudly for the demigods. But he also secretly offers prayers for the demons because his mother's side are all Daityas. So Indra gets to know that and he goes and cuts off all his 3 heads. Well, Indra is in trouble again. Well, he did not respect Brihaspati. Brihaspati was gone. And then Brahma gave him Vishwarupa as his guru. Now he killed Vishwarupa too. Now, this is one thing that I really want to mention really quick here is Vishwarupa had 3 heads, right? So the 3 heads become the 3 different birds. So the heads that are cut, you see a sparrow outside is one of the head of Vishwarupa. The partridges, one was the Franklin partridge and the other partridge, those 2 partridges are where all these 3 birds came from the head of Vishwarupa. Well, Indra had to have sin because Vishwarupa was the son of Twashta, who was a Brahmana. Well, he has to have sin. So for 1 whole year, Indra suffers a lot. Well, after suffering so much, he thinks that he can actually distribute his sin to somebody else. So there are 4 people who take his sins. One is the water. Water says, okay, I will take 1/4 of your sin. So there can be bubbles in the water. When we see bubbles in the water, even for cooking, usually we take the bubbles out and we use the water because the bubble is actually because of the sin of Indra. And the second one, the benediction for the water is whatever the water is added to, it increases the volume. Like, for example, you add water to the milk, it looks like you have more milk, right? That was the benediction. So Indra was very smart. He said, I will give you 1 benediction. You take 1/4 of my sin. So the land said, okay, I will also take 1/4 of your sin. So the benediction that he gave to the land is if there are ditches, the ditches can be closed. But the sin is the reason why land have deserts. There is no plant there. And the third is trees. Trees say, okay, I will take your 1/4 of a sin. And that's the reason trees have sap. Sap is oozing out of the tree. But the benediction that they get is that anytime you cut a part or like, for example, a rose plant, you cut the stem and you put the stem back again, a stem grows. So that's the benediction. And the 4th is women. Women agreed for the benediction that they can fulfill their lusty desires even while they are pregnant. And Indra says yes. And the 1/4 of the sinful activity that they get is the reason that women have menstrual cycle. So let's go to the next one. Well, all that is done, Twashta is very unhappy. He says that, okay, you killed my son Vishwarupa. I am going to do a sacrifice to kill Indra. So he is actually doing the sacrifice to get Vishwarupa. Now, amazing fact is, yes, Vishwarupa comes out. I mean, Vritrasura is going to come out of this fire, right? But the most important thing is, when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Krishna takes our intention. Even if we make some mistakes in the way we say the mantra, that's not counted with Mahamantra. But with Karma Kandik mantras, if you say something wrong, like for example, you say Indra Shatru or Indra Shatru, so, depending on how you recite the mantra, the meaning of the mantra will totally change. So Twashta wanted to kill Indra. He wanted to have a son who will kill Indra from the sacrifice, the enemy. So, but what happens? He ends up doing the mantra wrong, that his own son gets killed. So in this sacrifice, next slide, please. So from that sacrifice comes out Vritrasura. So you see, Vritrasura comes out of the sacrifice. He is huge, huge. Now remember, Vritrasura is actually a devotee. He just gets cursed by Mother Parvati. That's why he becomes Vritrasura. Vritrasura knows very well. He has the heart of a devotee. So he comes out, and now, the most important reason is he knows that once he dies, he's going to go back to Godhead. So that Vritrasura knows. But he has this curse, and he has to go with the curse. So next slide, please. Okay, so this is the reason we're seeing the fight between Indra and Vritrasura, because Vritrasura was created by Twashta because his son Vishwarupa was killed by Indra, right? So Vritrasura, you see the picture, Indra is actually sitting on the big Airavata, and the Airavata looks super tiny in front of Vritrasura. And Indra is actually sitting on it, and he throws his club or gada. You see on the left hand of Vritrasura, this tiny little thing that he's holding is the big gada of Indra. He is not, he thinks, Indra thinks that his gada can kill anybody. But when he sees that Vritrasura is actually holding it and just trying to throw it away, and he sees this enormous figure from the lower planetary systems to almost the higher planet, he gets so worried. Now, I'm not going to go in detail about how he got one thunderbolt. There was one thunderbolt that he gets, and Vishnu tells to Indra, if you put the thunderbolt on Vritrasura, he will surely die. So many times Vritrasura will ask Indra, throw the thunderbolt on me. But Indra thinks, I threw my gada on him and nothing happened to him. Oh my gosh, my thunderbolt will be gone. Nothing will happen to him. But Vritrasura reiterates. He says, Indra, Vishnu said that. So it will happen. Please go ahead through it. Now, in this situation, if you see, even Indra is a devotee, no doubt. But Indra is Sakama. He wants things. He always wants the power. He wants to be the, he's not Anya Bilashita Shunyam. Like he's not like he doesn't have any desire and he's praying to the Lord. So he's not a pure devotion. But Vritrasura's is pure devotion. He doesn't mind. He feels that if Vishnu said, it will happen. There is no other way that it cannot happen. So he tells Indra so many times, he says, oh, you know what, Indra, please throw the gada. Throw the thunderbolt. But he doesn't throw. But at the end, so Vritrasura thinks that, okay, you know what? This is going to be so difficult. I am just wasting my time. I'm just wasting my time staying here in the battlefield. Indra is not throwing the thunderbolt, and I'm just wasting my time. So here is where our prayers come. Can you go to the next one, please? So this is the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th chapter, 24th to 27th verse. These are the 4 verses. To me, I felt that if I can do these prayers every single day, this comprises of all, everything a devotee wants. Every attitude a person should have, the way we have to conduct ourselves, the desires that we should possess as devotees. Vritrasura explains this so beautiful. So the first one he says is, Aham Hare Tava Padai Kamula Dasanudaso Bhavitasmi Bhuya Manasmareta Shupater Gunamste Grinita Vakkarma Karotu Kaya. O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, will I again be able to be a servant of your eternal servants who find shelter at your lotus feet? O Lord of my life, may I again become their servants so that my mind may also always think of your transcendental attributes, my words always glorify those attributes, and my body always engage in the loving service of your Lordship. Now, just imagine we're all in the same situation. We've come away from Krishna, not known when we left Krishna, maybe time immemorial. Well, we can ask Krishna the same thing. Oh, my Lord, Krishna, please, will I again be able to be a servant of your eternal servants who find shelter at your lotus feet? Oh, Lord of my life, may I again become their servant so that my mind may always think of your transcendental attributes. So here I always try to give give a mnemonic called BMW. All of us know the car BMW, but this is very nice for us to remember what are the three things we have to do in our lives. B is body, M is mind, and W is words. If we are able to use our body, mind, and words, like body is engaging in the loving service of the Lord, mind in always thinking of the attributes of Lord, and words in glorifying those attributes. If we are able to remember and do these three things, well, we can make our life perfect. So he is saying that my only desire to be Das Anudas. Now Mahaprabhu also says that I want to be, he says, Gopir Padakamalayur Das Anudas. Means I always want to be the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the gopis. Well, in the material world, we're always used to being, we are all, at least I want to speak on my according to me, I always want to lord it over the material nature. I always want to be the main person. But Krishna doesn't, Krishna wants a devotee who is ready to become the Das and Das and Das and the Anudas. So it is really taking it away, maybe on the bottom. And those, so it's, like how we read in 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the spiritual world is exactly opposite to the material world. Like, we have been reading Urdhva Moolam Adashakam Ashwattam Prahuravyam, Chandam Siyasya Parnani Astam Vedasa Vedavid, where everything that is the highest, most important parts in the spiritual world is the least important in the material world. The most important in the material world is the least important in the spiritual world. The most important in the material world is making sure I get the recognition. I am the most important. But here we are looking at how Vritrasura is teaching us, we have to pray. We have to pray to the Lord. And I just want to be a servant of the servant of the servant. And I just want to use my body, mind, and words just for your service. Next one. In 1125, he says, Nanaka prishtam na chaparameshtyam na sarva bhaumam na saradhipatyam na yoga siddhera punarbhavam va samanjasatva virahaya kangshe. Well, this is another prayer that we should pray every day. Oh my Lord, source of all opportunities, I do not desire to enjoy in Drivaloka, the heavenly planets, or the planet where Lord Brahma resides. Nor do I want the supremacy, nor do I want to be the supreme ruler of all earthly planets or the lower planetary systems. I do not desire to be the master of the powers of mystic yoga, nor do I want liberation if I have to give up your lotus feet. I love this picture because you're holding Krishna's lotus feet and telling, I don't want, I've asked for so many things till now. I've asked, I want this, I want to enjoy this material world, I want to do so much sense gratification, I want everybody to talk about me, I want, this is what I want to, enjoy different planetary system. So here, Vritrasura is saying, Nanaka Prishtam Nachaparamesham. I don't want to be a Brahma. Na Sarva Bhauman. I don't even want the Bhumandala. Na Rasadhipatyam. You know how Rasatala, Talatala, Patala, all the lower planets. I don't want any of the to be, the enjoyment that I get in these places. I really don't want. Na yoga siddhir apunar bhavam. I don't want all the mystic yogas. You want to give me mystic yogas? I don't want any of those. If you want to give them, I do not desire to be the master of the power of mystic yoga. I don't want it. Nor do I want liberation. That's very important, which is the main thing. There is nobody else in the world other than, if you read so many other books, There's no one other than Prabhupada who explains this so beautifully, so beautifully. He says that I do not even want liberation. If Krishna wants me to go and serve in the hellish planets, I'm ready to do it. So here he's saying, I don't want anything. I don't even want liberation. If I have to give up your lotus feet, I only want your lotus feet, Krishna. I don't want anything else. I just want to surrender to you. Don't let me go. It's like it's the little kids say that, mommy, please stay here. Don't go, don't go. Or yeah, can you please stay here? Can you be with me? That is the mood that we have to have for Krishna. Can we go to the next one, please? So the next verse, here is one of the most beautiful verses. Sorry, I didn't write that. This is the 26th verse from the 11th canto, 6th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th chapter. So here, this is so beautiful verse where he is actually giving different analogies on how we should consider Krishna. He says, Ajata paksha iva mataram khaga sthanyam yatavat satara kshud artha priyam priyeva vyusitam visanna mano aravindaksha didrikshate tvam. O lotus-eyed Lord, as baby birds that have not yet developed their wings always look for their mothers to return and feed them, as small calves tied with ropes wait anxiously the time of milking, when they will be allowed to drink the milk of their mothers, or as a morose wife whose husband is away from home always longs for him to return and satisfy her in all respects, I always yearn for the opportunity to render direct service unto you. Here, can you go to the next one? So here I have just given some pictures so we understand. So first, Vritrasura says, I want to be, dependent on Krishna. Like how? Like these little baby birds. I was so lucky when I was just reading this in my little garden. I had a small nest and there were little eggs and they hatched and the actual little babies came out. So one whole week, I saw the moms coming and feeding the birds. So you could see these baby birds, this really, really tiny baby birds, they cannot fly. They're not really big yet. They wait. They're totally dependent on their mother to come and give them food. So here Vritrasura says, I want to be dependent on Krishna like that. I just want to depend on Krishna like that. Like the way the mother is going to come and I'm waiting for Krishna to take care of me. And then he thinks, but I'm not doing any endeavor here, right? So let me think of another scenario. Next one, please. So he thinks that, I should be like the calf because the calf runs to go get milk from the mother cow. And I should be that. I cannot be somebody who's not doing any endeavor because when mother cow is ready, when the calf is ready to go drink milk, he sees the mother, he runs towards the mother cow and starts drinking milk. So Vritrasura says, I should be somebody like that. I should not be somebody like not doing any endeavor. I have to do my endeavor. I have to do my part. So he says, yes, I should do that. Then he thinks, really? I have to be like the calf. Okay, I'm doing my endeavor, but I'm not doing any service. So next one, please. He says, I should be like a wife who is ready to serve her husband in all respects. It doesn't matter whether I have, a wife is completely there to serve her husband's needs. So I should be able to serve the Lord in that way, not expecting anything. I should keep serving. So Aprame, can you go back to the shloka again one more time? Sorry. So that is what he's saying. Ajata paksha iva mataram kaga. I have to be like the bird who's totally dependent on Krishna. Sthanyam yata vatsada. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me think about it again. But birds they're just sitting in the same place and waiting for the bird to come. Well, I can't be like that with Krishna. I have to do my endeavor, he thinks. And he says, then it should be like a calf. A calf runs towards towards Krishna. So I have to run and, do my part of the endeavor to show Krishna I really want him. And then he thinks again, he says, but the calf doesn't do any service. So let me think. Priyam priyeva visutam visanna. He says, I have to be like a wife who's serving the husband, always in the mode of service. And then he says that I earn to render the direct service to you, Lord. So this is very important. This is what Vritrasura says in the third shloka. Now let's see what the fourth shloka says. Can you go to the fourth shloka? He says, very important, very, very important. Mamottama shloka janeshu sakhyam samsara chakre brahmataswa karmabhi twan mayayat matmaja dhara geheshwa ashakta chittasya nanatha bhuya. O my Lord, O my Master, I am wandering throughout this material world as a result of my fruitive activities. Therefore, I am simply seeking friendship in the association of your pious and enlightened devotees. My attachment to my body, wife, children, and home is continuing by the spell of your external energy, but I wish to be attached to them no longer. Let my mind, my consciousness, and everything I have to be attached only to you. He says, Mamottama Shloka. Uttama Shloka is Lord himself. And he's saying that those people who are connected to you, those people, devotees, I want to serve them. That is going to be friendship with the only enlightened devotees. Because first he thinks, I want to serve you directly. In the earlier shloka we saw, first being dependent, then doing his endeavor, and then being totally serving the Lord. Then he thinks, I am so fallen. I have been wandering in this material world, wanting sense gratification, being away from Krishna, didn't want Krishna for such a long time. And now I am saying that I want to serve you directly. He thinks that, what qualification do I have? Now, I just felt that it's very apt for me when I think that what qualification do I have to ask Krishna, I want to serve you directly? No. So then he makes the change. He says, I simply seek the association, the friendship of your pious enlightened devotees. My attachment, because he says that if I get attached to the devotees, if I serve the devotees in a nice way, my attachment, because he says that, I am under external energy. I'm so much under Maya. I'm so attached to body, wife, children, home, everything. But I wish to be attached to them no longer. He says, Krishna, please take away those attachments that I have for my body, for everything that is related to my body, and just to be related to everything that's related to you. Let my mind, my consciousness, and everything have to be attached only to you. In this context, I was remembering one thing, that when Mother Kunti, she was, she asked Krishna, let my connection to the Vrishnis and my connections to the Pandus be gone. Well, I had this question, if she thinks like that, Pandus are the greatest devotees and Vrishni is where Krishna was born. Well, why doesn't she want it? Then later I understood from reading the purport of Srila Prabhupada that he's saying, and also had heard this beautiful lecture by Jayadvaita Maharaj, where he says, she's actually asking, she's saying that, let me not be attached to them because they are connected to my body. Let me be attached to them because they're part of you. So we can be attached to our family members, like husband, children, parents, or in-laws, or whoever it is, because they're part of Krishna, not because they are related to me in this life because of this body. So here he's saying that my attachment to my body, wife, children, home is continuing the spell of external energy. So we all can convert that into internal energy, because like how Mother Queen Kunti got her answer, where she is saying that I want to be surrendered to Krishna. I don't want any attachment because, Pandavas are my children. I have to be attached to them. Vrishnis are my parents' side. I should be attached to them. No, Krishna, I don't want to be attached to anybody based on the bodily concept. So that is what she's actually asking. So can you go to the next one? So this is this is the last slide, but we're going to go back and check all the points again. Well, Indra, at last, because Vritrasura keeps telling him, go ahead, throw the thunderbolt. But Vritrasura cuts off with the thunderbolt. He cuts off, Indra cuts off Vritrasura's hands, both the hands. Now, Vritrasura tries his best to fight, because that's what his duty was. His service to Krishna was he has to fight against Indra. So Vritrasura opens his mouth. His mouth is really huge because his body is so huge. And he swallows Indra. Well, he swallows Indra and he's sitting in meditation. He's totally surrendered. His mind is focused on Sankarsana. Well, Indra doesn't die inside, but he actually uses a thunderbolt and comes out of Vritrasura. Because of that, Vritrasura falls down And it takes Indra almost 1 year to cut his throat. I mean, literally to kill him. But then Vritrasura, at the end, a little part, the soul of Vritrasura, actually passes through all the layers of the material realm and goes back to Godhead. Now, the amazing part is, even though in this particular fight, in this huge, huge battle, Indra is the winner. Indra gets the heavenly planet, and Vritrasura is the loser, and he gets to go back to Godhead. Now, let's quickly recap on what are all, then I can take some questions and we can go in detail with anything else. So, stop this. No. Let's go into the prayers, Pramay. Thank you. So if you see that he says, the first prayer that we can all do is, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, will I again be able to become your servant? We were always eternally the servant of Krishna. We were never here, never suffering. We were always happy. When I was a little kid, I used to always read these books. I'm not sure all of you read, where you say happily ever after. So here we can ask Krishna, when will this happily ever after situation come to us? We made this big mistake of going away from you. Now I want to use my body, mind, and words and surrender to you. And please help me so that I will be able to, please tell me, when will I again become the servant of your servant of the servant? If we keep praying like that, I'm sure following the footsteps of Vritrasura, we can go back home, back to Godhead. Next slide up for me. So he says, the next one he says is, I don't want any riches. I don't want any position. I don't want anything. You give me anything from up and down. It could be Indraloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka in upper direction or Rasatala, Tala, lower direction. I don't want any of them. I don't want the Bhumandala. I don't want anything. If I have to give up your lotus feet, I only want your lotus feet. I don't even want liberation. In this situation, I don't even want liberation. If Krishna says you have to do my service to me, you have to go stay in hellish planet for some time, a devotee should be okay. That's what Srila Prabhupada says. And we have to realize that how surrendered a soul should be to actually be able to please Krishna completely. Aprami, next one, please. So here he compares it with the bird, he compares with the cow, and he compares with the wife. So first he says, I want to be totally surrendered like the bird. And then he remembers, yeah, I can be surrendered, but I still have to do some endeavor. So the second one is, oh, the little baby calf is going to run towards mother cow and get the milk. So yes, I have to be like the baby cow. And then he thinks, oh, but baby cow is not doing any service. It's only doing its endeavor to get his own stuff. So I have to be like a priyatama, priyam priyeva, because a wife is always thinking of serving her husband. And then how he earned for the opportunity to render direct service to him. Next one, please. So the next he remembers that, oh my God, I am asking for a direct service. Aprami, next one, please. I'm asking for a direct service. I mean, I am so fallen. I've been wandering through this material world, enjoying myself to the core, asking for everything that is abominable. And now I'm telling Krishna, I want your service. I have no qualification to ask that. He says, I simply seek the blessings, the association of your pious and enlightened devotees. If I can be with them, then maybe, yes, that will really help me. And, and then he, of course, wants to cut the attachment of this body. And again, we talked about how the attachment to the body is, we can be attached to our family members, not because they're attached to us in our body, because they're part of Krishna. So we have to be nice, we have to serve them, but not be attached because they are attached to us in this lifetime with this body. Yeah. So, and then of course he says, let my mind, my consciousness, and everything I have be always attached only to you. I'd like to stop here, and I have a few more things that I can talk, but I wanted to make sure if there's any questions or any comments. I'm supposed to see that, right? Pramay, we can probably take it from the Zoom room first, and then we can go to.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah, Dandavat.
It's so nice, such a wonderful lecture. And I was thinking, such a nice topic. And also from a person who is practicing the topic. So I'm so grateful that this wonderful gems that you have said. So one thing, I have few comments and one question. So one thing is, I was just thinking that text number 25, where Vritrasura is saying that I don't, want this liberation and other things. It is similar to where Mahaprabhu is saying, "Na dhanam, na chandram, na sundarim kavitamba jagadesha kame, mama janmani share bhavatad bhakti rahetu kitvai." Um, so one thing I really took note is when Mother Parvati cursed that time with Ashura, that time, I'm sorry, Chitraketu Maharaj, he actually took it very positively, in the sense like, he took it as an opportunity instead of getting into cursing, counter cursing, because he is also a very powerful person. So he basically was able to implement the teachings or the perfect attitude. So my question is, although means personally for me, I hear so many things, but when the situation comes, I feel miserable. So what is that I can do to actually, it seems like a big thing to do, when the actual test comes. So I would rather pat my back if I can overcome that. So how to actually be successful in a that test, that challenge when it comes? What is that when it?
Prabhu, it should be asked to a question who has achieved that. I haven't achieved it either, so I don't know. I'm just going to give you a a theoretical answer because I think it takes a lot of endeavor. I mean, even I remember listening to Radhesham Prabhu's class, and he was mentioning, he asked Guru Maharaj, his was Radhanath Swami once, that you always talk about Trinadapi Sunichina, you have to be humble than a bird of grass, so a bird of grass. So then he said that, is this the end? I mean, is this the only thing that we have to do? Is there anything more than that? He said that the last one, Ashishiva Padaratam Pinastumama Darshan Varmahatam. He said that I don't mention that in any lecture because you have to be really ready. First, you have to get Trinadapi, and then only you have to go to that level. So this is my understanding, Prabhu. I would like others to comment. My understanding is, as we go, as we really chant nicely, our anarthas are going to be clear because of the mercy of the Mahamantra. So once the mercy of Mahamantra happens and our anarthas are clear, we will really be able to follow what is Trinadapi. When I consider everybody to be better than me, anybody who puts me down, it will not matter to me because I will consider them. Like, for example, I was thinking in a scenario, if a person's Guru Maharaj would come and chastise, telling that, no, you're not supposed to do that, don't do that, we will take it as like a heart and soul. Oh my gosh, Maharaj is saying we should do it, right? The same thing, if another neophyte devotee comes and tells you, you will think, oh my gosh, I have been practicing this for so many years, and who is this person coming and telling me, right? So there is a huge difference. I mean, that is a difference in, because I think the constant practice of Trinadapi and chanting nicely, I think that is the main thing, Prabhu. I mean, this is my limited understanding because I am nowhere there. You're far away above me, Prabhu. You should tell me what I am supposed to do.
Thank you so much. I'll try to practice what you said. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Mother, I posted a question.
Oh, we are trying to get the mercy of Krishna. When will we experience that we have achieved the mercy of Krishna? Is it okay to desire the mercy of Lord? Will Krishna ever reveal that he was satisfied with our devotional service? Absolutely, Prabhu. Prabhu, if you think about yourself, maybe 20 years back when you didn't have Krishna, I don't know, maybe you were a Krishna conscious 20 years back or 30 years back. But let me say 30 years back. I'm assuming you were not Krishna conscious when you were 30 years
Yes.
back. So, you find a big difference in you from what was there before to what you are now, right?
Absolutely.
So that's the mercy of Krishna. Because so many of them even at my workplace or everybody is so worried about COVID, so worried about so many things, just not COVID now, so many things. There was a fire, there was this. I think devotees are the ones that are most relaxed. And we also go through up and down. There's no question that we don't feel anything. But at least, the amount of stress or depression a devotee goes through is far lesser than, of course, it depends on ye yathamam prapadyante. The more surrendered you are, the less you feel the outside misery. The more we start surrendering. But absolutely, Prabhu, there is no question. Krishna is always so merciful. I think I've heard, and all of you would have heard too. Prabhupada always says, if you walk one step towards Krishna, Krishna is walking 1,000 steps towards you. And I always wonder this, that I need Krishna to even breathe in this world, just to breathe. Krishna doesn't need me. He has thousands of Lakshmis serving him. But still, when I walk one step toward Krishna and he's walking 1,000 steps towards me, how much more merciful can I ask him to be? So absolutely, Prabhu, he is very, very merciful. There's no question.
So, so my question, Mataji, is sometimes, because of the conditioning, or maybe because of the ignorance, it's not that everybody can perceive that, Krishna is most merciful. Sometimes, somebody is so conditioned, or somebody may be in deep ignorance, that, even though Krishna is reciprocating, and he or she may not feel it that way. Is that possible? Like that, even though Krishna is supremely merciful, is Dina Bandhu, and then is Karuna Sindhu, the Shastra says, is an ocean of mercy. But the conditioned soul, because of the conditioning and because of the ignorance, may not feel that. So, in that situation, how can that conditioned soul, or how can that particular living entity overcome those difficulties and feel that really Krishna is the Dina Bandhu and Karuna Sindhu?
Prabhu, the person should probably get in contact with other devotees, with Guru and Shastra. So those are the things that actually help us realize that we are actually getting the mercy. Because
Okay.
it's like double checking, right? Because we are not, at least I am not in a purified stage where I can actually go talk to Krishna saying that, let me please show me your mercy. So the only way I will know Krishna is merciful is when I talk to a devotee who is a representative of Krishna for me, or to other senior devotees, or also to listen to Bhagavatam. I mean, I'm sure this has happened to you, Prabhu. Every time I have this major question and I open a Bhagavad Gita or a Bhagavatam, I always have an answer. Isn't that right?
Correct.
It happens with everybody. Sindhu Kanya Mataji is also saying yes. It absolutely happens. So that is where Krishna is trying to reciprocate with us now, because we are not ready. I mean, I remember one Prabhu saying in Bombay, he said that, what if Krishna knocks my door and says, I have the Vimana for you, let's go. Well, really speaking, Prabhu, if Vimana comes to us this moment, are we ready to leave what we have now and go with Krishna? At that time, Prabhu was telling that he was just getting married, and he said, oh, I will tell Krishna, please hold on, I'm just getting married next week. We will have something or the other. Oh, hold on, my child is just getting to college or something. But till we don't have any of those ifs, or buts, till then the Vimana will not come, right? So it is us holding Prabhu. Krishna is ready to take us any moment. If we are ready to let it go, he will go. He will take us. I hope I answered your question, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. Nice answer.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you so much for amazing
Thank
lecture.
you,
You really took us through the stories and then into the prayers of Vritrasura, because most of the times when I've seen, this is the first reflection, Mataji, most of the times I've seen is when we go through Bhagavatam and we read the prayers, I try to breeze through the prayers because it's hard to, it's not a story, so you just read through and move forward. But you really got the essence of his four verses. So thank you so much for making us understand those four prayers very wonderfully, Mataji. I'm really grateful for that. Thank you. And the question, Mataji, is with respect to the last thing that you said, that yeah, now we said Kunti Devi was not wanting to cut off her relationships based on her body, but be more based on the relationship that everybody is part of Krishna. But then it's not only with the family; it's with everybody around the world. So how do we do it, Mataji? How do we actually, like, it's otherwise? I mean, if we see that if it's on based on Krishna, then we have to be equal to everyone around us,
Exactly.
not just partial to the family.
That's right.
How do we do that?
That's very
Just a
difficult.
quick thing, Sukheshwari, for the wonderful class. But I was just thinking that Sri Kumar Prabhu got thrown out by his two boys. He's outside the home and hearing your class. So nice.
I think that's just the backdrop. Is that right, Prabhu?
No, these are backyard, Mataji.
Oh, sorry. I really thought it was a backdrop.
No, thank you, Mataji. I just wanted to have his.
No, that's why I was saying that the boys threw him out of the home. So he came outside to hear your lecture.
Some chance to hear Mataji's lecture.
So, Prabhu, I was just trying. So, with Kunti Devi's prayers, Prabhu, she was saying that I don't want to be attached to Vrishnis or Pandus. I'm suddenly forgetting that shloka. I knew the shloka. She says that I don't want to be attached to the Pandus or Vrishnis because she tells on basis of the body. So, what you said is true. When we consider everybody is a part and parcel of Krishna, every living entity, we have to be same. When we are not able to be same with everybody, that means we have not achieved the level of what Kunti is actually trying to achieve. Yeah, I mean, my son, your son, had to work. It was so much more difficult. Where you have all outside, the whole competition happens, and you say it doesn't matter whether I get the promotion or not. Anybody can get the promotion. It's very difficult to say in that sense, but that's the true fact she's trying to achieve. We only can pray and hope that someday I will be in our footsteps, but yes, everybody is same. Yeah, that's what it means.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Sindhukanya Mataji, you were trying to say something. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I had a question. So all these prayers by Kunti Devi, by Vritrasura, like these are very strong prayers, and I feel like I'm not at the level where I can actually from my heart say those prayers, because it's something that's written down, but maybe I'm not at the level where I feel that way. Like, for example, Krishna, you can put me in hell or any other place, and I'll be happy just being your devotee. For me, it's like I don't want to be in hell. Like, I'm not at the level where I can say that I'll be happy being in hell, being your devotee. For me, it's like I want to get out of this material world. So the question is, if we still pray in that way, does Krishna give us the strength to actually endure what we're praying for? Or should we wait until we get to that level to actually say those prayers, so that we're not putting ourselves in a situation where we're not ready for what we prayed for?
Wow, such a wonderful question. Very apt, very apt. Yeah, personally, I don't know exactly what Bhagavatam says with this, but personally, I would surely not pray what Kunti Devi praying. Kunti Devi prays, give me only calamities, give me only obstacles, and I would say